We'll be back from the break. You're still watching Smart 24 TV, and of course, it's the State of the Nation's address preparations, waiting for the president to come and account before the nation. And that is for the year 2023. And of course, corruption being one of the major aspects that are going to be discussed about. Right about now, we're going to get joined with Mercy Katsime, of course, with Malon Agaba, is with the Anti-Corruption Coalition. But of course, the discussions will be relying on the state of corruption in the country of Uganda so far. Let's get straight with Mercy Katsime.
Hello and welcome. My name is Mercy Katsime, and of course, as you well know, today is a State of Nation address. This is when we get to see the president give us an overview of what has transpired last year, and of course, what we expect in the coming year, that is 2023-2024. As it states in Article 101 and Part 1, that the president shall, at the beginning of each session of Parliament, deliver to Parliament a State of Nation, of course, address to the people of Uganda and, of course, legislators as well. Now, today I am joined with Mr. Malon Agaba, who works with the Anti-Corruption Coalition of Uganda. And of course, we shall be discussing matters to do with the state of nation, what we expect, and of course, what has transpired over the last year. And of course, when it comes to things related to corruption. And of course, we shall be giving you much more details. Mr. Malon, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course. I must start with asking you how far with, corruption in Uganda has been the talk, and of course, where there is corruption, the economy doesn't kind of thrive. And I want to know how far has been the progress when it comes to curbing corruption in Uganda?
Thank you very much. And of course, when you look at the fight against corruption, of course, some of the things have been done. One, of course, being that we have put up the different laws, all the way from the Constitution to several acts of Parliament, to have laws on access to information, have an Anti-Corruption Act, Anti-Money Laundering Act, Public Finance Management Act. So, as a country, we have put together some of these laws. And we have also put up some institutions that are supposed to be fighting corruption, like the Inspectorate of Government, the Office of the Auditor General, the State House and Function Unit, and several other institutions that have been put in place. And also, as civil society have been doing a lot of public education, sensitizing the citizenry on corruption and fighting corruption, which we have done. So some things have been done. But I cannot say that we are where we should be. We are not doing well when you look at the different statistics. The Inspectorate of Government says that we lose around 9 trillion, 9.1 trillion each and every year to corruption, and we are not doing well in terms of recovery. We are only recovering around 30 billion a year, which is not even 1% of what we are losing. When you look at Transparency International, they scored us at 27%. And I think in the 144th position out of 180 countries, so we're not performing well when it comes to the actual fight. And also when you look at Uganda, even for the last 1 year, I've seen so many scandals coming up. I heard about the Mabati scandal coming up, and there's so many people involved. Even the goats, the other scandal that's not talked about, but the goats which were bought at exorbitant prices, and most of them died. That is also another issue. You saw issues in NSSF, the mismanagement, mismanagement of servers management. I've seen issues just in this.
Well, of course, we shall be linking back with Mercy again in relation to that. That is with guest Malon Agaba, of course, with the Anti-Corruption Coalition, discussing the state of corruption in the country, Uganda. Mr. Byamgisha, you mentioned something that was so interesting. We have many corruption coalitions in Uganda. You hear this, but corruption is increasing.
Thank you so much. What is interesting in Uganda is something like, for example, we have a lot of anti-corruption agencies, including police. Including what? But we find the rate of corruption has increased. According even to our statistics as researchers, we find corruption has increased, particularly in government institutions.
Okay, corruption is increasing in government institutions.
Yes,
that's true.
Very, very true. And it is very hard these days to easily detect who is not corrupt and who is corrupt, because the vice has taken over. You go to the ministry, you find someone even to meet the minister, someone wants something to meet even simple people. You have a small problem which could be solved.
Yes.
But now someone is asking a bribe.
I need a bribe.
And in Uganda, if you don't give a bribe, you cannot win anything.
Oh, that is true.
We find we need something, what you call mindset change, as I've told you.
Mindset change.
Someone to know that I am not supposed to give a bribe. I'm not supposed. A police officer will put even a case against you if you don't give him money, and he will even make it more complicated for you. For you. So you find Ugandans have now resorted to bribes, to corruption, and we hear anti-corruption agencies, anti-corruption court, and even itself, anti-corruption agencies are also very corrupt. So this government should emphasize, if there is a need for economic development in this country, there should be emphasis on fighting corruption. There is a lack of will in leadership. I normally write on papers on leadership. Leadership is a basic problem in this country.
Actually, the leadership function is true, because not only even just in leadership, but even when it comes to business-wise.
Exactly. You cannot do business when the leadership is not clear.
Yeah.
They will impose a lot of taxes on you against vis-a-vis, as I was telling you, someone is fighting with you in Chipubo, economic-wise, but you cannot compete with that person because
of course, there is a subsidy, an unusual subsidy. Exactly. I call it an unusual subsidy.
So, therefore, economic development versus leadership. We lack leadership in this country because we wouldn't even have donations. Donations to Uganda. There is a time during some regimes, Uganda was donating even some countries. We have fertile soils here where you find someone can grow anything. Someone was even making a joke that some people would carry our loam soil from Uganda to Egypt and other countries.
By the way, talking about that aspect,
yes,
you remember way back in, you've talked about the loam soil aspect, and you reminded me during the times of independence of the countries Uganda that used to really supply, countries which Uganda used to benefit. I mean, that were benefiting from the country Uganda, and they could take the soil out there for agriculture-related purposes. You know, when you talked about that, it reminded me of those moments way back in the time.
So, in short, Uganda should be giving donations to other countries. But now, Uganda is giving donations. If you don't know, for example, and people are seeing us, the debt burden of this country has gone beyond repair.
We are in reds, actually.
We are in reds. Why? We are borrowing. It means we are borrowing for consumption. We are borrowing from here, and we are not into production.
You borrow money to buy a phone. It's more like that.
When you realize most of the government corporations, they are not making profits. The money is stored there, the little money that is made, and also the low production itself. It doesn't produce a lot of profits in it. So there is a need for this country tackle the leadership problem. The leadership problem. You are borrowing money to do what? Recently, the Minister of Finance was quoted signing things he would not even give explanation because he's signing. So I don't know what would restrict Ugandans and Uganda, but what I would want to maybe expect, what would expect
the president
from the president is to know that let him work with people who are willing to work, who are very patriotic, who love their country. And also, the mafias. The mafias have become mafias in the government of NRM. Someone will say, what will you do? automatically, even you'll do nothing. If I tell you that they are stealing money there, or they were stealing iron sheets somewhere, what will you do? So you find citizens, they don't have the power. So that one, there will be no economic development. Is what we call looting.
Okay.
Yeah? The people, even people whom we think that they have made some money around, find the locals are saying, that one, we don't know. That one you are saying is a rich man. To the government, maybe something happened.
You'll see.
We will
and
see.
Actually, there are lots of
Local people know this one, this money is not his.
It's not his money.
This one is conniving with some agencies. So they know. The one who has made his money, they will say, this one, this in Turkey has been here. We know him. This one is, we don't know. These are rich people, so and so. So we need a honest discussion on how we can cause economic development, of course, with honest leadership, with mindset, and of course, above all, when we have fought corruption.
Now, Mr. Biamgisha, I still remember last year in 2022, the president talked about the aspect of oil. And I think late last year, we saw, of course, some development partners coming on board. We saw banks partnering, and the purposes of these banks, actually there was Equity Group, Equity Bank, there was Stanbic. One of the ways, because remember, this is a very wide sector, that you need players, and some of them are SMEs, of course, with requirements that they have to participate to fulfill certain requirements, like being put on the national registration database. Of course, all those were put out there. Then, when I saw that, because it was part of the things that the president discussed in the 2022 State of the Nation's address, I would say, I mean, don't you think that demonstrates some sort of, because implementation is always in phases. It doesn't happen today. Some programs, implementation can even last for years, but it's already, at least when there is something which is being done, it's the bigger picture than the president mentioning something and nothing is even done about it. And when you research about it, there is nowhere. Now let's focus on the oil. We are seeing development partners coming up, which are going to be offering loans to SMEs to be able to efficiently participate in the oil exploration. Can't we say that at least we have some aspects which are discussed on the State of the Nation's address, and there is some implementation in the background?
For example, on the issue of oil, you know, Ugandans, we don't want the truth.
We don't want the truth.
Yes, they have been telling us oil will be produced in 2020, oil will be produced next year, 2021.
So there's been pushing of
oil will be produced. But even you may find oil is being produced.
Now, right now?
Yes.
How?
But now the Ugandan question is, you question, then you will be in opposition or you'll be misquoted. Many people will not talk, but can you give us like a detail of maybe how far we have gone? I was reading some research. I found even Uganda is among the oil producing countries. But here, we're waiting for oil to be produced. So who is getting that revenue? Who? And secondly, if it is we are producing such a good oil, why can't Ugandans know and to be able to know that we produce this and we shall be able to make our infrastructure? Do we need to hide anything? You have seen many people in Karamoja. By the way, Karamoja question, those minerals you hear, people kill each other. They come and tell you that their cows is what? It's minerals. A lot of minerals are being mined here in Uganda. They are being exported. But if I ask you, do you know how many minerals we export in Uganda?
I think gold is
how much?
On the last statistics I heard that Uganda generates approximately $500 million from gold exports.
From gold exports.
Yes.
But you find Ugandans are not informed. They don't know. So, and we have, like, for example, oil companies which are operating, we have the whole of the Ministry of Energy. Until you hear that there are a lot of money has been stolen and the minister being arrested, all this, you cannot know. So we need information. Information is the public good. We need to know what is going on.
What is going on?
And people, that's why the question of mindset. When you know that, export this, we get this from this, automatically you'll be defending your country. Even if you have a Tanzanian, Kenyan, you'll be saying, we have more of this than you are. The love will come. But if you are not aware, most Ugandans are not even concerned. Find out they are saying, there are many few Ugandans even who vote. Come on the voting day.
Yes.
Those people who are seeing us, there are many few Ugandans who vote. In fact, some of them, they make some kerere, they make a noise here and there, but you find on the day voting, maybe he has gone to Mukono, there is a friend of his who has given him some money to make a noise around. But he is a voter in Kanungu, he didn't vote. So you find the voters, they are the local people who are always, particularly, of course, they are manipulated during that time. So you find that one cannot cause development. You go to communities, you find all communities, there is a lot of poverty. Why? That's why people are running to towns.
Mr. Bemksha,
yes.
Let me ask you. According to the recent reports, they indicate that Uganda's economy has developed recently. Following the recent UBOS report, which was showing that there was a reduction of the inflation, didn't increase, there's a reduction. Should we believe these statistics as indigenous Ugandans?
In fact,
let's talk about that.
Those are statistics, as you have said. But the real research is poverty has increased 50%. When you have 10 people, 5 will have nothing in their pockets. Even if you go and do it practically, we have done some research that 50% of Ugandans, they are poor. Poor means they cannot get basic things, basic necessities of life. For example, shelter, clothing, to have education, health care. They are crying. So, which means there is...
so where are these people getting these statistics from that they tell the nation that and you know, when this information is published out, you'll find it on the media outlets all over Africa, and they'll tell you that Uganda's economy is performing better. That's what the article read.
Yeah, but I recently, if you read all journals, there is no any journal that says the Ugandan.
Actually, I read it on Africa's Inside. It's called African Inside.
That one is not it's not a known journal. When you read the international journals, they are even worried of how we are operating as a country. So we need to increase what we call production at a household level. In fact, there is something the president normally emphasizes: household income. That every family should have income to get some money, some cash. You are getting this money from your production, so that there is no question of saying that you are just there, you are on subsistence. Because previously people used to be on subsistence. You just have your plantation to cook for your family, to make sure your family is doing well. But now there must be some component of money. But also because of corruption, again, we find we don't have local rich people who have been in agriculture, who have been in production, that they are getting money. They are getting money from other business people. They are getting a lot of money from farmers, from local people, and they are using that margin of profit survive than the local farmers. In fact, someone was also advocating for a bank for rural people, the farmers. You are having your plantation. Tomorrow, you have got a problem. The rainstorm has destroyed it. Next day, if you don't have where to get that money, what would you do? Some families have even committed suicide.
Yeah, that is gone to that extent.
They have gone to that extent. They want to take their family home, and they have no any other alternative. And the thing is clear: you took the loan. So you find those challenges if the government is not coming up to solve those problems. And in fact, this parish development model, that one automatically will not work. Because we have seen a lot of insecurities increased. If you don't have a local bank where this man keeps his little money, or he picks it when he needs it for the season of planting, it means he will misuse that money. You have not given him an opportunity. By the way, have you ever asked government people, if people remove those money from PDM or whatever, those beneficiaries, where do they keep that money?
That's a
They
very important
bring
question.
back that money to where some of them have married other wives, others have got insecurity, they have killed them. to get
So meaning
1
there is no
million.
impact.
There will be no impact. Where if I remove that money from
So
PDM,
can I say,
those benefits, where do I keep that money?
okay, can I say that, you talked about mindset.
I
Mindset
come
change.
from a district where even I live around these commercial banks who are exploiting people. Even where I come from, there is no even that commercial bank. It's not there in the whole district.
Okay.
And you are giving people PDM. Where are they keeping all that money? It is a source of insecurity. In fact, it is increasing insecurity. Domestic violence have increased. So there should be a bank for farmers, local banks, where they can keep that benefit. They pick it maybe when they are going to plant, during planting season, want to remove some money to buy the seedlings to plant. He keeps the money, or he removes the money for this reason. If you have the money that you just got your benefit from PDM, then automatically it will be misused. Automatically you have seen people dying in local communities. Automatically you have seen a lot of angry Ugandans. Then you question yourself.
Mr. Biamgisha, in the last minutes as we wind up, I want to ask you, how long do we need to take to assess success of a government program? Because the PDM is, I don't think it has even yet made a year. Okay, maybe it has made 1 year.
You don't know? The PDM is more than a year now.
Okay, more than a year. Okay, like official implementation whereby now the funds were disbursed. Of course, there was, when the president launched it, the discussions, but I'm talking about the time when the people started to receive money for the PDM. How long do we need to take to evaluate?
Okay, it is a short time. It is a short time, I agree with him. But do you know how many people, the cows and the government people, have been arrested for embezzling PDM funds in that short time? There are very many. If you get to the statistics, so of the people who have embezzled that money, it is not little money, in that short time, they are more than 100. You hear the Kavira Maido, parish chief, and with his committee, the anti-corruption has whatever. So you find the money is being misused, to be honest. So that what we need is the local person needs this for economic development to take place. You need an infrastructure, you need a road, you need a school, maybe if you want to get education. And whatever. You need a health center where in case you fall sick, because someone will fall sick, will spend all that 5 million he has got in the hospital, private institution, because the government has not given them the institution where they can get treatment. So it will still, even if they don't take it like stealing directly from him, it will be stolen. Okay. It will be taken because there are no institutions. So we are requesting government put infrastructures to people. In fact, they don't need to give your citizens handout of money. Give them those basic things, infrastructure. Someone can be able to sell his produce. And second, help the farmers. You government, buy these products yourself and hold them for some time to avoid those people who normally would do contract and hike the prices. All right. Buy the gasoline Muvende as a government at a slightly good price. Keep it. You are the biggest spender. You have police, they eat every day. You have prison, they eat. You have prisoners. You have people who can consume that. Why do you leave it to a private person to exploit? Even we have got Tanzanians and other Kenyans here who are doing that business here of serious, and they are getting a lot of money. And if the government can utilize that, it means the government, a farmer will love the government because he's buying his product. Are you getting it? And also the government is saving money, that money that is misused during those contractual things, because you are buying castle yourself, you are keeping it yourself, you are grinding it yourself. Therefore, you have portion for your people, for your public servants and prisoners and so forth. So the cost will be lower compared to now. Once you put the relevant facilities to operate business, your farmer is exploited as a government, but you are also as a government you are not benefiting, so you are losing. Interesting. Of course, we are discussing State of the Nation's address, and I've been with Mr. Biamgisha Ambrose. He's the CEO of Ambrosoli Consultant. They do research related, of course, to education and business-related aspects in there. Yes, and from his point of view, as we've been winding up, he's been saying that, okay, government programs,
it is okay, but it would be much more better if you create an environment that can facilitate somebody to do business. It will save you much more money as compared to giving people large sums of money, which are going to be even misused, as we've seen the parish development model in the shortest time when the funds have been dispersed. Well, rates of corruption are quite so many, and so many victims have been recorded. Well, now let's get into the break. Of course, in a few minutes, of course, we shall be linking up with the State of the Nation's address.